Boarding is supposed to be simple. They call your group, you scan your pass, and you walk down the jet bridge, but instead, you're just standing there while the line freezes. Someone is arguing with the gate agent, someone's bag doesn't fit, and someone has to unpack something at the scanner. And suddenly, your 5-minute boarding turns into a 15-minute delay. Most gate delays are not caused by weather, they are caused by people, more specifically, carry-on packing errors. Small mistakes that slow the process down for everyone. Let's break them down properly. First mistake: overstuffed carry-on bags. Airlines publish size limits. Most travelers assume if the bag mostly fits, it will be fine. But gate agents increasingly enforce size rules, especially on full flights. If your bag bulges beyond the dimensions, even slightly, you may be asked to place it in the sizing frame. If it doesn't slide in easily, it may be tagged for gate check. That conversation takes time. Now multiply that by 3 passengers per flight. Boarding slows down immediately. Here's what most people don't realize. The rule is not about punishment, it is about overhead bin space. Overhead bins are engineered for specific volume. When bags exceed limits, they reduce total capacity. Once bins fill early, agents must pause boarding and start mandatory gate checking. That pause creates delay. Alright, here's the second mistake. External attachments. Things like neck pillows clipped to the outside, or extra shopping bags just hanging off the handles, and jackets wrapped around the top. Even if your suitcase technically fits, all those external items really increase the bulk. Gate agents might ask you to remove or consolidate them. If your bag can't fit under the seat or in the overhead bin safely, it turns into an issue. And, honestly, issues at the gate almost always mean delays. Moving on to the third mistake. Personal item misunderstanding. So, most airlines allow 1 carry-on and 1 personal item. The mistake: travelers treating that personal item like it's a second suitcase. We're talking large tote bags, overfilled backpacks, and sometimes even duty-free bags in addition. When boarding groups start reaching the aircraft and those overhead bins fill up, the crew begins policing how many items people are carrying. If someone goes over the allowance, sorting it out right at the aircraft door just slows down the entire flow. Now, the fourth mistake is liquids packed incorrectly. Most security delays, they happen before you even get to the gate, but every so often, if something questionable slips through screening and gets noticed during boarding, things can escalate at the gate. Think large water bottles, open beverage containers, or oversized liquid containers that get discovered during random checks. These situations, they really stall movement for everyone. Alright, so, here's the fifth mistake. That's when electronics get buried at the bottom of your bag. At many airports, you actually have to remove your electronics for screening. Even in places with those advanced scanners, random additional checks can still happen. If your laptop is packed under layers of clothing, shoes, and cables, unpacking it at the tray just slows down the whole line. And, honestly, when that delay happens close to boarding time, it can create ripple effects all the way at the gate. Now, the sixth mistake is carrying prohibited tools or sharp objects without realizing it. We're talking about small scissors, multi-tools, or pocket knives that you might have forgotten from daily use. When security has to confiscate or talk to you about disposal, it delays you getting to the gate on time, and arriving late increases the boarding pressure and can really disrupt the whole sequencing. Seventh mistake: ignoring the boarding group order. Some travelers try to board early with oversized carry-ons, hoping to snag that guaranteed bin space. But then, gate agents have to verify your boarding group, and that conversation just slows down the scanning process. It might seem minor, but honestly, when several passengers try it, that time really starts to add up. Okay, so here's the eighth mistake. It's all about those hard-shell suitcases that technically fit, but, they're just not flexible. Soft bags, they can compress a bit, but hard-shell cases, they really don't. If the overhead bins are nearly full, that rigid luggage just might not fit in the spaces that are left. Then the crew has to rearrange things, and honestly, that takes time. Ninth mistake: packing heavy items toward the top. If a bag is top-heavy and unstable, placing it in the overhead bin becomes difficult. Crew may intervene to reposition it safely. Every repositioning adds seconds, and, seconds add up. 10th mistake. Failure to prepare documents before reaching the scanner. This one is simple. Boarding pass buried, passport buried, phone locked, battery dead. The line stops while someone searches through their carry-on. It feels harmless, but multiply by hundreds of flights per day, and, well, it really adds up. Now let's talk about gate checking. When overhead bins fill early, agents begin tagging bags for the hold. The most common cause? Passengers bringing larger than allowed carry-ons. If you pack assuming they probably won't check, you increase the risk of forced gate check. Gate checking requires tagging, logging, and coordination with ground crew. That pauses boarding. Now let's talk about something subtle, weight distribution. Even if a bag fits dimensionally, some airlines enforce weight limits at random. If your carry-on is excessively heavy, lifting it into the bin may become a safety concern. Crew may intervene. Safety intervention: slow boarding. Now here is something important. Most delays are not dramatic confrontations. They are small friction points. A zipper that will not close. A bag that will not fit sideways. An extra shopping bag that exceeds allowance. A traveler repacking at the gate desk. Each moment is small, but combined, they stretch boarding time. And here is the real cost. When boarding extends beyond schedule, departure slots may be affected. Airports operate on strict timing windows. Delays at the gate can impact pushback time. Pushback time affects departure sequencing. Departure sequencing affects arrival time. Your carry-on mistake may not ground the plane, but enough small mistakes together can slow everything down. Now let's talk about how to avoid being that person. First, use a carry-on that clearly meets airline dimensions, not close enough, within limits comfortably. Second, keep external attachments minimal. Everything should fit within the bag's silhouette. Third, know your fare class. If your ticket restricts cabin baggage, plan for it. Do not assume you can negotiate at the gate. Fourth, keep documents accessible. Boarding pass ready, passport ready, phone charged. Fifth, pack electronics in accessible compartments. Sixth, distribute weight evenly. Seventh, avoid stuffing bags to maximum capacity. Compression equals flexibility. Flexibility equals faster stowing. Now let's address a common myth. Boarding is slow because airlines are inefficient. Sometimes, but often boarding is slow because travelers underestimate the impact of their individual decisions. Airlines have optimized boarding algorithms extensively. What disrupts them is unpredictability at the passenger level. When carry-on compliance improves, boarding speeds improve. This is measurable. Now here is the retention reality. The smoothest travelers move like this: boarding pass ready, bag compliant, personal item compact, overhead placement efficient, seat entry quick. They do not argue. They do not repack at the gate. They do not attach extra items last minute. And boarding flows. If you want to avoid contributing to delays, treat carry-on packing as part of the travel system, not as an afterthought. Because the gate is not where you want to discover your bag is oversized, and it is definitely not where you want to start reorganizing your suitcase while everyone behind you waits. Air travel is a chain. One weak link slows everything. Make sure your carry-on is not that link.